Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. Topic on Newscast, Juan Louis officials shed a little more light on the issue that caused some hemodialysis nurses to protest their working conditions on Tuesday. It's a problem, they said, that's unavoidable given the climate in the Caribbean, but it only got worse with the new hospital addition in the last several months. News 2's April Knight has more.
Nurses working at Juan Louis Hospital's dialysis unit have had enough. On Tuesday, they staged a sit-out in protest of excess water seeping onto the floors of their work area, a problem, they say, that's been going on for some time.
The air handling unit had failed and began to leak. That water infiltrated into the hemodialysis unit. That occurred on Monday. As soon as we were notified in administration, we activated an alert team. This multidisciplinary team immediately went into action.
The root of the problem is as old as the hospital itself. The failing air handlers are aging just like the rest of the Juan Louis facility. The hospital is strapped for cash, and that's a hurdle in getting some capital improvement projects done. But hospital officials say the air handlers are on the list. Hospital executives have been in talks with the nurses before the sit-out and afterwards.
As of today, they will be back at work tomorrow morning as soon as we open the doors to again take care of our patients.
The sit-out ended around midday on Tuesday, and according to the hospital, at no time was patient care affected. They did have to cancel their Wednesday dialysis patients in order to address some of the excess moisture issues. They're also working on a permanent solution to the problem.
It is expected that we'll be in full operation tomorrow, but the plan going forward is let's get it cleaned up. Let's make sure it's a safe, quality environment to continue the care of our patients, and then we'll address the long-term plan when it comes to the moisture and the condensation within the building.
According to the hospital, they are in communication with local and federal regulatory agencies. Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
And according to the hospital, they do have some new equipment coming in that could help improve working conditions. Comment 2, we will keep you updated. Well, also the Department of Health is experiencing some technical difficulties with the air conditioning units on St. Croix and St. Thomas. As a result, the St. Thomas Immunization and Community Health Clinics located at the Roy Schneider Hospital suspended services at noon. The malfunctioning of the air conditioning unit has affected also the entire Charles Hallwood complex on St. Croix, and they suspended services around 1:30 today. The Department of Health is working to repair the issues at both facilities. All affected staff are expected to return to work at both facilities tomorrow, Thursday, August 11th, as normal. They say if the AC units still have not been repaired, the department plans to provide clinic services on the medical mobile vans on both islands tomorrow. We will keep you updated. While the ballot count continues on St. Thomas, the Joint Board of Elections began counting absentee ballots today around 4 p.m. in the election system offices. And as part of an ongoing effort to reach out to the voting public, and as mandated by law, the members of the St. Thomas St. John Board of Elections also met and had election-related discussions. The ballot counts are expected to continue until Thursday. You can go to the www.vivote.gov website to check for updated results. If you wish to observe the process, you can visit the election system offices. Well, Labor Day is coming up, and for many it means a long weekend, but for police officers and highway officials, it's a time to keep a sharp eye on the road to prevent the trend of vehicle crashes and fatalities. So they're joining an annual national campaign to do just that. News 2's April Knight has more.
Drive sober or get pulled over. National highway officials, with the help of the VIPD, are blasting that message again starting August 19th until September 5th in an effort to reduce alcohol-related accidents on the road.
This campaign will consist of checkpoints, saturation patrols throughout the island, throughout the territory, on pre-designated locations, and our focus is to target drunk drivers at that time.
The campaign coincides with the 2016 Labor Day holiday weekend, which according to highway officials is one of the deadliest times of the year in terms of drunk driving fatalities. In 2014, for instance, there were 401 crash fatalities nationwide during that time. The total for that year was almost 10,000 people killed in preventable crashes.
Approximately 1/3 of all traffic crash fatalities in the United States involve drunk drivers, with blood alcohol concentration of 0.08% or higher. From January to present, we had 25 DUI arrests here on St. Croix, and from the fiscal year, which is October 1st, 2015 to present, we've had 30 DUI arrests.
And get this, men are more likely than women to be driving drunk in fatal crashes.
In 2014, 23% of males were drunk drivers in these crashes, and 15% were female.
And then there's the financial toll. Impaired driving crashes can cost the United States up to $44 billion in a year. Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
And police are looking for Jason Dickerson, another news, 32-year-old who goes by the name Jungle. He is wanted for robbery first. Here's more from VIPD.
Mr. Dickinson was born in St. Croix and frequents the town of Frederickstead and Estate Grove Place. Jason A. Dickinson, a black male individual, about 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighs about 160 pounds, brown complexion, long black locks with brown eyes. If you have any information regarding this individual, Jason A. Dickinson, or anyone wanted by the police, please contact the Criminal Investigations Bureau at 340-778-2211 or 340-712-6106, the anonymous tip line, Crime Stoppers VI at 1-800-222-TIPS, or you can call 911.
Also, police are looking for Sean P. Griffin, 32-year-old black male, height 5'9", weighs about 135 pounds long. You can take a look at the picture, black locks, brown eyes, and brown complexion. Police say this individual has tattoo marks on his left chest displaying death before dishonor and life over death on the left chest. Mr. Griffin was born in St. Croix and frequents the Williams Delight in Frederickstead and Harborview Housing Community in Christiansted. They say if you come in contact with Sean Griffin or have any information on his whereabouts or any other individuals wanted by the police, please contact the Criminal Investigation Bureau at 340-778-2211, 712-6106, or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. Baltimore's police department has been in the spotlight since the death of Freddie Gray, the African-American man fatally injured in police custody last year. That death prompted a Department of Justice review of the entire department, and the report outlines what the DOJ calls a pattern of violating the Constitution and anti-discrimination laws. Emily Schmidt has more on the findings.
There's no mention of Freddie Gray or his death in the Department of Justice's 163-page Baltimore police review. In fact, the DOJ says problems did not happen overnight.
These violations have deeply eroded the mutual trust between BPD and the community it serves.
The DOJ found Baltimore police routinely used excessive force, retaliated against people engaging in constitutionally protected expression, and made unconstitutional stops, searches, and arrests, especially of African Americans.
One African American man was stopped 30 times in less than 4 years, with none of the stops resulting in a citation or a criminal charge.
The review looked at 6 years of data and conversation with groups all across Baltimore, finding deficiencies in police training, policies, supervision, and accountability.
We know that our citizens are outraged.
Baltimore's police commissioner says there's no tolerance for officers who are racist, sexist, discriminatory, or biased, and promises changes. Baltimore's mayor estimates it could cost $5 to $10 million a year.
The findings are challenging to hear. But let me be clear. I never sugarcoat our problems.
The DOJ will be talking with the community and law enforcement about potential reforms, looking to rebuild a trust it says Baltimore police broke. I'm Emily Schmidt reporting.
Keeping our eye on the economy, don't you just love them? The Girl Scouts cookies. The Girl Scouts of America, they're celebrating National S'mores Day in a delicious way. They just announced their new Girl Scout S'mores cookies. The new variety will have two versions, One includes a crispy graham cookie double dipped in cream icing and chocolate coating. The other is crunchy graham sandwich with chocolate and marshmallow filling. That new cookie will be carried in select markets during the 2017 cookie season. Here's a look at the stock market watch at the New York Stock Exchange. According to the numbers there, everything down. The Dow 37, NASDAQ 20, S&P 500 down at 6. Coming up on NEWS2, we have our Department of Health segment, Fight the Bite, the latest. That's coming up. Welcome back. Here's a bit of relieving news for commuters who drive their vehicles between St. Thomas and St. John. There are now 2 car ferries in service, but just like before, one of them is operating under some restrictions for failing to adhere to Coast Guard guidelines. The Island Vic of Love City Car Ferries has been placed back in service on Tuesday and is fully operational. The Captain Vic, however, which is also operational, is operating under weight restrictions again until its boat ramp is repaired according to standards. Well, no Zika surveillance report tonight, and we'll share that with you as soon as we get it from the Department of Health. But as of last week's count, the Department of Health reported 14 new Zika cases that brought the total number of confirmed positive cases in the territory to 79, 20 cases on St. Croix, 58 on St. Thomas, and 1 on St. John. Commissioner of the Department of Health, Ms. Michelle Davis, shares details so that everyone can learn more and become aware of where free Zika testing, virus testing, and other services are being offered by the Department of Health. Here's more. In terms of getting tested, some of the symptoms kind of mimic other things like dengue and chikungunya. How do you differentiate? How is it diagnosed?
Once again, it's diagnosed through a blood test or through a urine test, and it is the same mosquito that causes dengue or chikungunya, so it's of the same family of mosquitoes, the Aedes aegypti mosquito. And we have free testing in the Virgin Islands for anyone who feels that they have acquired Zika. But we have a major campaign for pregnant women with testing sites, over 15 testing sites across the Virgin Islands where women can be tested, as well as the public can be tested to find out if they have Zika.
Okay, and how is it treated if someone found out they are infected?
Well, once again, if you find out you've been infected, we want you to get a lot of rest. We want you to drink a lot of water because we don't want you to become dehydrated. You can take Tylenol, which is an acetaminophen drug. We don't want you to take aspirin. And if you're on other medication, we want you to speak to your physician first because they need to give you medications that don't interact with medications that you're currently taking. And so that's very important.
And be sure to tune in weekly for the updates as well from the commissioner. Meanwhile, a newborn in Texas has become the state's first Zika-related death. Health officials say the baby girl was born with microcephaly, which is that condition caused by the Zika virus in which a child's head is abnormally small. The executive director of Harris County Public Health held a news conference on Tuesday. He said the baby's mother had traveled to El Salvador during her pregnancy, and that's where it is believed she became infected unknowingly. Test results returned positive for Zika. The baby died shortly after birth.
She was in El Salvador, and my understanding is that she's from El Salvador, traveling here to Harris County, but I can't give you anything more because I don't have all those details, but to let you know that she came to Harris County in her second trimester.
How are athletes doing? We are continuing to keep you updated. And today, Cy Thompson was sailing for the races 5, 6, and 7. Swimmer Rex Tullius as well was in the men's backstroke competition. And we will have more updates as they come in. We don't have any updates on how they did, but we are tuning in to give you all the updates. So we'll have more on tomorrow's newscast. And don't forget, until August 21st, Innovative Cable TV is bringing you the coverage of the 2016 Rio Olympic Games through multiple platforms. You can watch live TV coverage or live streaming. Watch on any of the NBC Universal networks through the Rio app on the Watch TV Everywhere platform, or click on the link provided on the Innovative webpage to access the Rio Olympic site. And these are the channels again, just a reminder: Bravo, Channel 97, CNBC, Channel 55, the Gulf Channel, number 126, St. Thomas, St. John, and 127, St. Croix, MSNBC, 145, NBC Channel 11, NBC Sports Channel 40, Telemundo 58, USA Channel 95, and in addition, there are 2 specialty channels for Olympic basketball and soccer. Basketball is Channel 44 and soccer Channel 45. Yuriko Kiyoki, who has become Tokyo's first female governor, previously broke glass ceilings as Japan's first female defense chief. She is one of only 3 women currently serving as governor of one of the country's 47 prefectures. Here's more.
As billions around the world watch Rio 2016, for Yuriko Koike, the clock is already ticking towards Tokyo 2020. The Japanese capital's first female governor will attend the closing ceremony in Rio.
Training to hold that flag.
Yeah, I'm training my muscle.
Koike hopes to avoid the Olympic-sized problems that plagued Brazil in the run-up to the Games. Tokyo has had its own troubles since winning the 2020 bid: a scrapped Olympic stadium design, logo plagiarism allegations, construction delays, not to mention massive overspending.
The cost of running the 2020 Tokyo Olympics and Paralympics is so enormous.
Cutting those costs is one of her main goals. Money scandals forced the last 2 governors to resign, making Koike the 3rd in 3 years. Her resume doesn't read like a typical Japanese politician. The Arabic-speaking former news anchor has been a member of parliament, minister of the environment, and Japan's first female defense minister. Koike is used to shattering glass ceilings.
As a matter of fact, in Japan, it's not a glass ceiling, it's a steel ceiling.
Steel ceiling. And why is it the steel ceiling?
It's more rigid, it's more chauvinistic.
Her outspoken views have made Koike unpopular with the establishment, but popular with voters. She broke away from the ruling Conservative Party, winning 3 million votes as an independent, more than 1 million ahead of the second-place candidate. There's talk Koike could be Japan's first female prime minister, which leads to inevitable comparisons to another candidate in the midst of a grueling U.S. presidential race.
It's unthinkable for us. I mean, it's too long sometimes, but she's doing a very good campaign.
Are you rooting for Clinton or Trump?
It's hard to tell. It depends on the people. I mean, the U.S. decides.
Koike's focus is being the first female governor of a mega urban area.
Tokyo is fantastic and magnificent city.
Her mission: make sure scandals, delays, and overspending don't cast a shadow when the Olympic spotlight shines on Japan in 4 short years. Will Ripley, CNN, Tokyo.
Be sure to stick around. Your News2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.
Thanks, Sandy. And as we head into the overnight hours, still a chance to see a brief passing shower. We've been dealing with some hazy conditions as well due to some Saharan dust in our area. Now, as we head into our Thursday and Friday, we'll be looking at some clear conditions and a spotty shower will be possible. Now, as we head into tonight, it will be mainly clear around. Overnight low of 82 degrees, so we'll stay warm as the sun goes down. Back in the 90s we go for St. John. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies. It's going to be quite nice for the afternoon. St. Thomas, pretty similar forecast here. Those temperatures back in the 90s, mostly sunny. Will appear maybe just a little bit hazy, but compared to the last couple of days, we should get away with a pretty nice afternoon. Mostly sunny in St. Croix. Our daytime high also right at the 90 mark. Then as we head into our marine forecast, the Atlantic facing beaches between 2 to 4 feet for your waves. Winds are still out of the east between 10 to 15 knots, and there's no small craft advisory in effect. For the Caribbean facing beaches, our waves are between 2 to 4 feet. Winds are out of the east here between 10 to 15 knots, and again, we're not looking at any small craft advisories in effect. Our extended forecast shows a passing shower on Friday. Better chance to see some showers around on Friday night and into Saturday. That's our next tropical wave arriving, but it's not going to be amounting to much. So just hit or miss showers, very isolated in nature. As we move into Sunday, mostly sunny once again. Our highs remain in the 90s with lows in the lower 80s. Plenty of bright sunshine coming up on Monday, and our daytime high will stay right around the 90 mark. Sandy, back to you.
Thanks for that update, Molly. Time for our News 2 weather picture there by Muhammad Destiny, 9 years of age, representing Lockhart Elementary School, reminding us we are in the hurricane season. It's also summertime, so you can expect both. The sunshine right there in the corner and some dark clouds and showers here and there. Muhammad, thank you for that. Send us your News 2 weather picture to the address on the screen. News 2, Innovative Business Center, St. Thomas, VI. And that is all for this edition of News 2. We'd like to thank you for joining us for all the latest. I'm Sandra Mansing. We will see you next time.